Here's my first one. Strong vibes. Look at this. That's a big butt. Do you think anything in this store would fit me?
No, I don't think so.
What do you think about this mannequin?
Tranquilízese. Está bello, es hermoso porque se parecen a las mujeres venezolanas que tienen...
Grande todo. Grande todo, bien sea por detrás o por delante.
Bueno, por aquí los hombres pasan siempre y hasta las abrazan. Les gustan, no sé.
Está muy bonita, pero le hace falta un poco de nalga.
Dígaselo en cámara.
Está flaquitica. Le hace falta comida.
Can I buy this shirt with the hearts on the nipples? Gracias. I'm feeling pretty insecure about my situation. And so I figure if I put hearts on my boobs, then maybe it will draw more attention to them and I will be accepted into the local culture. I'm here in Caracas, Venezuela, a place that is famous for two things. It's one of the murder capitals of the world, and it produces the most beautiful women. So I've come here to figure out how these women get so beautiful, and if it's in the water, I'll be drinking it. In 1999, the charismatic Hugo Chavez came to power and established a socialist regime. He was able to provide subsidies for the poor thanks to a booming oil industry. However, after his death in 2013, the system came crashing down, along with the global price of oil.
Oil accounts for 96% of export revenues in Venezuela. The global collapse of oil prices has Venezuela running on fumes.
The new, far less popular president, Nicolas Maduro, has been powerless to revive a flatlining economy and skyrocketing crime rates.
El país se está cayendo en pedazos porque tenemos un presidente que no hace nada.
While Venezuela is now in the midst of a dire economic crisis, the country still has one export that continues to thrive: beauty.
Nuestra Miss Universo 2008, Dayana Mendoza, bienvenida.
Since the 1980s, Venezuela has dominated the global pageant scene, winning more international crowns than any other country. All in all, they've given our planet 7 Miss Universes, 6 Miss Worlds, and 7 Miss Internationals. This is thanks in large measure to Osmel Souza, who took over the Miss Venezuela organization in 1981.
Si ustedes van ni a pasear, van como un atleta se prepara para unas Olimpiadas internacionales.
This controversial figure achieved global dominance in part by aggressively promoting cosmetic surgery. He revolutionized the beauty standards for the competitions and for the country. He also refused to speak to us. Here in Caracas, everyone wants to look like Miss Venezuela, and shaping yourself in her image is the prevailing fashion trend. The average woman will spend 20% of her salary on cosmetics and beauty treatments, and nearly 1 in every 5 people gets plastic surgery. We have come to Cati Pulido International, one of the many modeling academies in Caracas. But I need to stand on my toes. This is essentially a beauty factory, churning out future pageant queens.
Many other countries, it's like, oh, okay, we have a beauty pageant, but for here, it's like a big thing. Beauty and pageants, it's like a very fast platform to get noticed and get famous and get rich, and people dream about that.
And is it hard on any of the girls that grow up?
It's very hard. The one who get the crown, she has to be very disciplined, very well-centered. You have like to polish the diamond, you know, okay. the rough diamond and all the rough edges. But when you see like the energy coming from inside, you know that she can make it.
Coming to train in a place like this is an essential first step for anyone who dreams of becoming Miss Venezuela.
Esa grata experiencia que puede sentir cada modelo cuando recorre la pasarela.
For Venezuelans on the breadline, winning the crown can be a way out of poverty. But even for girls that are well off, it's a chance to join the country's elite. The school has over 800 students. However, only 1 or 2 girls from each class will go on to compete professionally. We visited on their graduating night, where the pressure was definitely on.
I think I'm about to be made beautiful by these Amazons. You guys are all in the running for Miss Venezuela.
Y somos precandidatos a Miss Venezuela.
Did you all study at this school?
Sí, y nos enseñaron maquillaje, pasarela, actuación, canto, a peinarnos.
Did your parents make you do it?
Mi mamá era la que siempre me decía, hija, pero entra, eso te sirve para como conocimiento, para aprender protocolo, para aprender a caminar en tacones.
So did you want to be Miss Venezuela since you were a kid?
Creo que todas las niñas venezolanas desde chiquitas sueñan con ser Miss. Todas ven en la pantalla como esas mujeres altas y bellas y todas esperan ser así.
Why do you guys think that good looks are so important in Venezuela?
Es como una responsabilidad que hemos adquirido por tantas coronas que hemos tenido en el universo. Entonces ya es como una responsabilidad tener que ser bellas.
There seems to be a pretty intense culture of like plastic surgery here.
Yo la cirugía la veo como un apoyo a la autoestima de la mujer. Si tú eres feliz como eres, pero una cirugía, no sé, de algo que no te gusta de tu cuerpo, que quisieras mejorar, no estoy en contra de ella, de hecho la apoyaría.
You guys all seem really nice to each other, but are you guys in competition?
Mientras estamos aquí somos amigas, mientras estamos allá abajo antes de salir a la pasarela somos amigas y la competencia de nosotras realmente es cuando nos montamos en la tarima a desfilar.
Sino que te están viendo a ti y te tienes que lucir solamente tú.
So how do I look?
Fine.
Fine. It's the next Miss Universe.
Clearly, it was never too early to start your Miss Venezuela training. The school enrolls children as young as 4.
Will you tell me your names?
Ariana, Hailey y Doriana.
How long have you been modeling for?
6 años.
Wow, that's so long. You've already had a full career. Do you like walking on the runway, Helen?
¿Te gusta caminar en la pasarela, Helen?
No. Is she okay?
Le da pena.
Why did you decide to put her in the modeling school?
Le gusta mucho. Le gustó mucho eso, el modelaje.
Is it expensive to put her through the school?
No, para nada. A ella le gusta.
Do you think it's a viable career option for her later in life?
Sí, de verdad que sí. Es muy importante para ella.
Bye, Helen. Good luck today. High five.
Vente, vamos.
Come on.
Helen may have been lacking in energy backstage, but she certainly came alive on the catwalk. The girls were ready to show off the runway expertise they'd learned over their 10 months at the academy. All of them were hoping they had what it takes to become a national pageant queen.
They're asking me to walk on the catwalk.
Even I wasn't able to escape from the dream of becoming Miss Venezuela.
Yeah. My boobs aren't big enough for this one. You first.
Muy venezolana, eh?
Yeah.
I can be able to walk in these things so high.
I have a wedgie.
Each girl's walk down the runway was the pinnacle of her year's hard work.
Months of classes for them, 5 minutes for me.
I'm like Miss Opposite of Universe, whatever that is. Oh, I know what I am. I'm Miss Wormhole.
Clearly, I wasn't going to make the cut. Pageants here are serious business, and like learning a new language, the younger you start working at it, the better.
Every day we travel in a 4-car convoy. These doors are so heavy. How come we have windows like this?
Son contra impacto de balas.
Is there any situation in which somebody might try and shoot us?
Claro que sí. Son extranjeros. Okay, tengo acá la pistola, 9 milímetros.
Is that why you have that incredible zipper?
Sí, sí.
It's your gun zipper?
El cierre es un accesorio que yo le mando a poner a las chaquetas. El carro de atrás también, ponemos sirenas.
And is there anything that I need to do specifically?
Visual, tenemos que tener contacto visual siempre. En el momento que yo te diga, nos vamos, usted tiene que hacer lo que yo le digo. Y después en el carro, en la huida, platicamos el por qué. Porque el blindado estás adentro del carro.
Caracas has one of the highest crime rates in the world. In early 2014, the brutal murder of a beloved former Miss Venezuela, Monica Spear, marked a turning point.
Suceden estas cosas y todos estamos expuestos a cualquier situación como esta.
Public outcry led the government to pledge to crack down on crime. But 2 years later, the situation is even worse. An epidemic of kidnappings has swept the country, and in 2015 alone, 27,000 people were murdered. Some of the violence can be traced to corruption and impunity, but the economic collapse seems to be pouring gasoline on the fire. Owing to the state of chaos in this country, most Venezuelans believe that winning a beauty pageant is the next best thing to winning the lottery.
¿Cómo estás?
It's why 4-year-old Helen and her mom don't consider this just a hobby. It could change their lives.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Helen. Tengo 4 años, me gusta el modelaje, estudio y bailo y tanto.
So, how was last night, guys?
Bien.
¿Te gustó mucho modelar, verdad que sí?
Me gusta mucho modelar.
Dile que te lloraste cuando te bajaste de la tarima.
Lloré cuando me bajé de la tarima.
Why did you cry, Helen?
Dile que querías modelar más.
Quería modelar más.
How did you know you wanted to be a model, Helen?
Dile que siempre que ibas a las sesiones de fotos te llamó la atención el modelaje.
Siempre me tomé una foto y entonces, ¿qué más?
Quise modelar.
Decidí modelar. Esa es mi puta mami.
Bueno, el objetivo con ella es, uno, que cumpla sus sueños, ¿no? Y otra es que llegue muy lejos, sea una modelo profesional, revistas, catálogo, que sea Miss, que sea Miss Mundo, Miss Universo, o sea, aspiramos muchas cosas mejores para ella.
Do you know who Miss Universe is, Helen?
No.
Dile, yo seré la Miss Universo.
Yo quiero una...
What's wrong? She doesn't want it.
Oh.
Dile cómo se ve, hace una pasarela.
Ok. Eso, qué linda.
No, yo estoy contigo. Yo contigo, ponte a ti.
1, 2, 3.
Qué linda.
Le diste mal tú.
¿Le di mal yo? Sí, me equivoqué.
Thanks so much for having me over.
Gracias por recibirme.
It isn't just women and girls who dream of pageant glory. The men are fierce competitors as well. Venezuela is the only country to have won the Grand Slam of Mr. World, Manhunt International, and Mr. International. But in order to reach that level, they have to make their way through the ranks of the local pageants. So I went to check out one of the most popular competitions in Caracas.
We're off to a Mr. Universo casting to see what kind of beauty standards men are held to here in Venezuela. This is the toughest judge of the competition. If she barks, they're out.
The casting starts with hundreds of hopefuls who are whittled down through the rounds. Only 32 are selected to compete for the Mr. Universo title, with 150,000 bolivars at stake and a chance to be seen on the global stage. The judging panel consists of modeling scouts, past winners, and of course, a plastic surgeon.
Hemos tenido policías, hemos tenido bomberos, hemos tenido médicos, odontólogos, pero que acá en la organización los transformamos.
And who's the toughest judge here?
Mi persona. Mi persona.
What he just said that was really interesting is that these men are not coming in here as a finished product. They're trying to find a blank canvas that they can sculpt to make their own creation, which is Mr. Universo.
The goal of everyone here is to be plucked out from the ranks and molded into a highly sought-after male model.
Suelta los brazos, perfila hacia allá. Con 2 carreras, ¿qué tiempo le dedicarías a esto? 40 kilos bajaste.
Como médico te felicito, ¿eh?
Sonríe abierto.
I've heard that penis enlargements are really popular here in Venezuela. Do you know anybody that's gotten one?
Bueno, yo en particular sí conozco una persona que lo hizo y de hecho fue algo que le ofrecieron en un programa de televisión.
Would you undergo any type of surgery to make yourself look more perfect?
Definitivamente. Creo que el bisturí no es algo que se escapa.
Do boys ever stuff their shorts or, you know, do they have fluffers here in Venezuela?
Bueno, particularmente yo no lo he hecho. Sería eso, pues la cuestión de que en un momento de que se salga la media, entonces tengas tu miembro aquí.
Creo que va a ser peor eso.
You have some serious pecs, dude.
¿No son prótesis?
No, no, son naturales.
They're natural? To be honest, I was not looking forward to this at all because being forced to be in a room with a bunch of hairless men in tiny underwear is kind of my nightmare, but it was weirdly fascinating. It's wild to see that the beauty standards for both men and women are extremely high in this country. When I asked many of the guys if they would consider having plastic surgery if they got to the next round, they said yes. I mean, it's literally a Ken doll factory.
It was getting dark, and we had been warned by our security not to be out after sunset, so they insisted that we head back to the hotel immediately.
Apparently, we're in a pretty dangerous neighborhood. We're not allowed to stop at red lights here because if you stop, it's possible for you to get carjacked and kidnapped.
Aquí en la noche te paran en los semáforos y te agarra el AMPA.
And we have some insane siren that allows us to alert people when we are traveling through red lights. It's pretty wild. So this isn't normally something I would bring up, but it's become very relevant to the situation here. I have my period, and I've found it very difficult to find the items that one might need during their period because they are regulated by the government. Hola. Do you have tampons? No. Do you have any tampons here? No. Nothing. I'm not in, the middle of nowhere. I am in the capital city of Venezuela, and I can't find a tampon. This is a pharmacy, but I don't have much here. In a weird way, it feels very Warholian in here. This is amazing because it feels like it's totally full, but the only thing in this aisle is click, whatever that is.
Venezuela's economy is in a free fall, and no one is spared.
Venezuela's economy is suffering extreme inflation. This is the unofficial exchange rate used by most Venezuelans. It has skyrocketed over 700%.
Catastrophic inflation, in conjunction with government-controlled prices, has resulted in a lack of even basic supplies. Since 2014, widespread unrest has led to anti-government protests against the pervasive violence and the supply shortages. These days, long lines form before the sun comes up as people compete to get their hands on whatever necessities they can.
Here they are, the famous lines.
I'd heard of a black market group known as the Bachaqueros. They're the ones who can get their hands on the everyday goods that people need to survive.
You are a bachaquero. Can you tell me what that entails?
Y bueno, y salgo temprano de mi casa, hace cola, para, por lo menos para comprar sus productos para su casa o como para vender, para revenderlo, pues.
And what did you do before you were doing this?
Trabajaba construcción en empresas privadas. Ahorita el material no se consigue tampoco, no se consigue nada de construcción.
Is your job illegal? Are you considered to be a criminal?
Bueno, sí, los productos que venden sí son regulados. Y bueno, y vamos a decirlo que sí porque uno le pone un sobreprecio, pues. Pero sí ilegal porque uno le está poniendo un sobreprecio.
Would it be possible for me to ask you to get me some feminine products?
No, bueno, sí, no, yo las compro si yo consigo, pero eso ahorita está también difícil, pues no se consigue mucho.
Are you frustrated by your government?
Sí, bastante, porque, cónchale, ya es hora de que acomode, si es que van a acomodar las cosas.
The stores may have been empty of everyday essentials, but the idealized images of beauty were still very much for sale.
We are on our way to Valencia, to the factory where they make those outrageous mannequins that we saw at the market the other day. What do you think about this girl?
Bueno, esa es la chica del sueño de muchos hombres.
Have you ever seen a woman that looks like this?
Sí, bastante.
Are you a boob man or a butt man?
Las dos.
This factory has been making mannequins for 20 years and noticed sales rocketed once they enhanced the bodies to reflect the current trends.
Can you tell me a little bit about the modifications that you've had to make in these mannequins over the years?
Hace 7 años atrás, más bajita, más pequeña. Hoy en día, más grande, más cola, porque así los quieren todos. La mujer sexy, la mujer que se ve así, ¿me entiendes? Entonces eso es lo que vende. Labios voluptuosos, como los de Angelina Jolie, Botox.
Botox lips.
Sí.
Now our faces looking more operated on?
Sí.
When you were growing up, what was the ideal feminine body?
En mi época las mujeres éramos todas voluptuosas, grandes. No teníamos que tener esta cinturita. Hoy en día tú ves niñas de 13, 14 años que están así y se sienten gordas. Y después cuando tienen 15 años, su regalo es, quiero esto. Anteriormente era más fácil ser bella que hoy en día. La sociedad te exige mucho.
I didn't believe that it was physically possible for a human body to support the measurements of these mannequins. Until I met Alera Avendaño. With her 20-inch waist and sizable bust, she's become famous around the world for her extreme figure.
Wow, look at you. Can I touch it? Wow. How did you get this body?
Dieta, ejercicio y corset, 24 horas al día.
When do you take it off, if ever?
Para bañarme.
What about having sex?
Me lo dejo.
Alera has spent the last 6 years, not to mention thousands of dollars, perfecting her body. It is now her source of income.
I can't believe she looks in it. Ready? I'm fulfilling all of my Victorian fantasies. This is like my lady in waiting, punishing me for all of my bad thoughts. Would you wear that to work out?
Sí.
That was like kind of like sexy. I was like getting excited. She was like putting me up against the wall. Whoa. You are strong. This is smart. Do you ever have difficulty finding things you need?
Fuerte. El clima es fuerte y no se consigue nada. La proteína del gimnasio la compro afuera.
It's very precarious to smuggle a large bag of powder in a country like this. I know there's also a shortage here of implants. Did you get your work done here?
Me opero aquí, pero mi novio me manda a hacer los implantes afuera, en Alemania.
What have you done so far?
Muchas. Nariz, labios, la nariz 2 veces. Los senos 3 veces.
3 times? Oh my God. And why do you think that people in Venezuela are so obsessed with perfection?
Es como una moda.
Shall we take this off? Oh. I feel like I just took all of my clothes off. I feel like I'm totally naked. Oh my God. Can you hear that? Did you hear my back crack?
It's still dark out, but the lines are already stretching down the block. For Venezuelans, the waiting and the disappointment of going home empty-handed is how many people begin their day.
It's 4 a.m. and we are waiting to try and find where the line starts. Apparently there are 2 armed guards at the front of the line that don't want us to be filming inside.
In response to the catastrophic inflation, the government has established different exchange rate systems, not to mention the black market rate. This means that a pack of tampons could cost anywhere from 45 cents to $45, depending on where I exchange my money.
What things are the hardest to find right now?
Todo. Nada, no hay nada. Estamos pero caóticos. El país está cayéndose a pedazos, de verdad que sí.
Have you lived with these lines all of your life?
No, esto tiene aproximadamente, ¿qué? 2 años.
What specifically today are you here to buy?
Mira, ahorita lo que haya, porque no tengo leche, no tengo aceites.
I've been trying desperately to find tampons and sanitary pads, but I've had no luck.
No hay, no hay. A mí me tocaba ayer comprar las toallas sanitarias.
Yeah.
Y no llegué, o sea, como le digo yo a mi hija, no te pongas una toalla porque no hay. Eso es lo que más duele como mujer, como padre.
In the 15 minutes that I was just speaking to that lovely woman, the line has now stretched around the corner. It's 6:20. We've been here since 4 o'clock in the morning. The pharmacies still aren't open. All these guys behind me with the hats that are at the front of the line are bachaqueros. Okay. Oh, it's opening.
¿Me pueden grabar, por favor? Porque le agradezco.
There's like 3 lipsticks.
Necesito que salgan de la tienda, por favor.
What? What did she say?
Por favor.
We're getting kicked out. Come on, Jack. We have to get out of here. You have a big handprint on your camera.
After 3 days of waiting, I got word that my Bachaquero Connect had come through for me.
Hola. Nice to see you.
Sí es.
How much do I owe you?
300 bolívares. Gracias.
Gracias.
A ti.
Thanks for all your work. Technically, I just partook in illegal activity by purchasing a regulated item for an amount that was 1,500% more than what it costs. Oh my God, I've never thought I'd be so happy to see a sanitary pad.
It was the second day of casting for Mr. Universo, and today, the pressure was mounting. Some lucky hopefuls would receive detailed and incredibly personal plans to make their bodies perfect.
No es posible que con 22 años te descuides de esa manera. Y yo asumo que tú eres chef en un restaurante, pero yo quisiera ir a un restaurante que me atienda el galán, no el gordo. Ok, estoy viendo un niño. Vamos a empezar a buscar ese cuerpo de hombre, de tipo. Y con los lentes más. Puedes continuar en la competencia como puedes salir.
It seems the demands for a beautiful body were crueler than I ever imagined. I was struck by the willingness of these young men to be scrutinized and have their bodies permanently altered.
como para saber cuando la proporción es simétrica y hay armonía. Es como Leonardo da Vinci la veía, es como la veía Miguel Ángel.
So you're almost like an artist looking at a blank canvas.
Exactamente.
Can you tell me what you would do to me?
Ok, para ser joven tienes muy poco pómulo, así que yo haría un implante de aumento de pómulo. Te falta mentón, yo te alargaría el mentón.
Amazing. Yeah.
El candidato número 1, ¿qué apreciación le diste?
The guys who are thought to have a real shot are selected to have a private consultation with the surgeon.
Se me desequilibra en las nalgas, ¿ok? Tienes muchos glúteos, tienes un color de tus pezones hacia arriba y de tus pezones hacia abajo. Entonces me haces dos apelotonamientos de músculo que me desarmonizan. Ríete.
Y cuando te ríes, la punta se va hacia tu izquierda.
There was clearly an expectation for the serious contenders. If you wanted this bad enough, you needed to redesign your body, mostly through surgery. It was actually one of the clothed men that caught my eye. Yamil has been volunteering at the casting and hopes to soon enter the competition himself.
Hola.
He invited me for a facial at his mother's beauty salon where he works.
I feel like I'm at a sleepover. You want to be Mr. Universo.
Y voy al casting. Luego cuando pasa todo el proceso, me dio pena, como quien dice. Entonces prefiero como que dejarlo así por este entonces, porque tengo que hacer la cirugía de la nariz, otros detallitos.
Have you always been obsessed with beauty?
Sí, realmente sí, porque yo fui, ¿cómo se llama? Producto de mucho bullying cuando pequeño. No, me llamaban mono. Por eso pasó todo el proceso de transformación. Los glúteos me los hice a los 18. Luego yo primero me puse inyecciones y luego me puse prótesis.
What kind of injections?
En ese momento me había colocado biopolímero.
Biopolymers are liquid silicone injections that can cost as little as $1.50. They are a popular, cheap, and unsafe alternative to implants and are now banned due to their dangerous side effects.
Can I see your butt? And why did you want a bigger butt? It feels pretty good.
Eso comenzó cuando entré en el concurso de modelaje y por eso me coloqué biopolímeros al principio.
So tomorrow you're having a surgery. You're having your nose done?
Mañana me sacan una prótesis que tengo acá. Cuando uno va a este concurso o a uno de estos concursos, uno tiene que ser el mejor.
Do you think that you'll ever be done?
Sí, ojalá y Dios quiera sea para el año que viene. ¿Te gustó? ¿Cómo te sientes?
Yeah, it feels great. Feels like a baby's butt.
In Venezuela, 1 in every 5 people is getting plastic surgery. These operations are often unregulated and not performed by doctors. This has led to an epidemic of crippling side effects, especially from cheap biopolymers.
With the demand so high for plastic surgery procedures here in Venezuela, often there are complications. I've come here to a residential neighborhood in Maracay to meet with a woman whose story illustrates the darker side.
Yosire Hernandez got the injections 8 years ago and is now suffering from the terrible results.
Why did you want to inject your nose?
Me convencieron de que para tener la nariz perfilada, te inyectamos un poquito y ya.
Who's they?
Una doctora y varias amigas que ya se habían inyectado.
Did you know that you were getting biopolymers injected into you?
No. Me dijeron que eran células expansivas, que eso era algo natural, que no me iba a hacer nada. Y hace año y medio empezó la nariz a ponerse roja y entonces la nariz se puso más grande, como que iba a explotar.
Did you yell at your friend that was the doctor? Did you come back to her? Did she help you pay for anything or fix anything?
Me dijo que no era culpa de ella, que ella no me inyectaba nada de eso. Inclusive ella ahorita está huyendo.
Do you think that there's a pressure here in Venezuela for women to look a certain way?
Hay un lema que dice, es mejor muerta que sencilla.
Would you mind showing us the state of your nose at the moment?
I'm so sorry.
Horrible. De hace 2 años.
We're on our way to meet Dr. Spence, a renowned plastic surgeon who specializes in fixing botched operations. Hopefully, he'll be able to give me an idea about why plastic surgery is so rampant here in Venezuela.
This is
Oh my God.
biopolymer in the face.
Wow.
Before, and this is biopolymer.
Wow. Why do you think that biopolymers became popular here?
Se sigue usando porque da dinero. Y da dinero porque vivimos en una economía deprimida. Un paciente de repente no puede pagar $3,000, $4,000 por una cirugía de mama, pero sí pudiera pagar, digamos que $200 por colocarse biopolímeros en las mamas.
And why do you think that plastic surgery has become so popular here in the last 30 years? What kind of shift have you seen?
En la parte de publicidad, en cuanto a querer crear un cuerpo perfecto en nuestro país, va mucho que ver con el Miss Venezuela. Tenemos que colocarle implantes, tenemos que operarle la nariz, a que quiera pretender ser como las Misses Venezuela.
Plastic surgery is incredibly informal here.
¿Cómo estás? Bien.
And how long have you been waiting to do this?
De la primera, 1 año.
Today, Jamil will be awake throughout his nose job, with just a local anesthetic to see him through. It's just one more step towards feeling ready to get in front of the pageant judges.
Y lo acepto. Comienza.
Oh, I'm not doing it. This is insane. The doctors seem to have a pretty casual approach and made this feel more like going in for a wax than a serious operation.
Si la metes, si yo levanto, levanto, súper bien.
Y el paciente quería subir el dorso de la nariz. Tenía la nariz muy achatada. No es una nariz caucásica como europeos, anglosajones, sino...
Now is white man.
Now he's a white man?
Sí. Está más guapo.
Jamil's mother has also just been under the knife and was here to have the stitches removed from her eye lift. It seemed like just another family day out. Who initiated this?
Comenzó él. Y después, bueno, vamos mamá, sí, bueno, ya toda cirugía, seno, abdomen, liposucción, glúteo, y así sucesivamente.
So you guys are both celebrating new faces.
Sí, no, todavía falta.
What more are you doing?
Me falta en la nariz.
Y pensar que todavía me falta una.
Las alitas.
Las alitas.
Thank you so much for letting me into this special part of your life.
No, para mí también fue gratificante que estuvieras aquí, todo el seguimiento, y te doy las gracias igualmente.
In a country where the average woman makes around $400 a year, winning Miss Venezuela can seem like a real-life fairy tale.
Porque ya de estar aquí soy una ganadora y cuando me nombraron, la mujer más feliz de este mundo, ¿verdad?
Alongside prize money, a world of opportunity can open up. Many have successful careers in television or modeling, and one former Miss even went on to become a presidential candidate. Because Miss Venezuela is so important to this country, I wanted to know what the actual reality is of winning the competition. So I've secured some time with one of the most beloved Miss Venezuela winners, and the only time she could fit me in is on her weekend jaunt to Los Rocas, which is a beautiful Caribbean island. Cynthia Lander won the title in 2001 and is now a TV host and actress living the dream that all the girls at the Pageant Academy were aspiring to.
First of all, I feel very honored to spend the day with a former Miss Venezuela.
Thank you.
It's very exciting. You're my first one.
Really?
Yeah. Let's just start out by how you came to be Miss Venezuela.
I started to be a model first. One day, Osmel Sosa, who's the creator of the Miss Venezuela empire, saw me and he said, you have to participate in the Miss Venezuela contest.
And what did you have to go through to win?
You have to be on a really strict diet. I had to lose 10 kilos. And I started to have catwalk classes, photo shoot classes. I didn't have much boobs, but I did the surgery for the Miss Venezuela pageant.
Did someone suggest that?
Yeah, you have some measurements, standard measurements, 90, 60, 90.
Wow. And by the time you'd gone through this process and gone through all this prepping and primping, do you feel like yourself?
Somewhere along that time, you become whatever they want you to become. It's an industry.
Could you talk to me about how your life changed after you became Miss Venezuela?
See, the thing with Miss Venezuela is that you've got the time of your life, your 15 minutes of fame. The intelligent part is grabbing that period of time in your life and making it so much your own that you extend it through all the other years.
Did you feel like going through this whole process helped you as sort of an escape from what was going on in the country?
It distracts you a little bit, but still, how can you be pretty if the basic things are not here? I say that in every level: education, security, finding products in supermarkets. We're missing a lot of the things that we need. 15 years ago, when I was Miss Venezuela, it was a little bit different. Right now, everything is collapsing because of the situation we're living in.
The reign of a Miss Venezuela is spent presenting a beautiful face for their country around the world. But the irony is, they now help to mask the harsh realities they were trying to escape in the first place.
In a place where you have very little control over your life and your ability to get the things that you want, the one thing that you can control is yourself and your appearance. We know that this is a very legitimate investment for people to escape the lives that they were born into. Because here you have a country that is on its last legs, producing the most beautiful women in the world. In terms of graduating from this academy, what's the grand goal?
The grand goal is becoming a supermodel. It requires very strength from the inside.
What are your dreams and hopes and goals?
Bueno, yo creo que este casting es una plataforma, un trampolín, para entrar lo que es al medio artístico, al medio del modelaje, de la actuación.
How would you define Venezuelan beauty?
Auténtica, exótica y muy audaz.
Are you frustrated by the state of Venezuela today?
Creo que de las crisis donde salen las buenas oportunidades, las buenas ideas, este es el momento propicio para que todos los venezolanos, de una u otra forma, saquemos esa creatividad y esas ganas de surgir.